Hi, Dr. Dan here. I wanted to talk about some fundamentals of effective technical, professional, and scientific writing today to think about the various elements of a document that come together to make effective communication. Even looking at some sentence level ideas, which is where we really need to start. So, the very core kind of fundamentals of language formatting design, which come together to create an effective document. And we do need to step back and think about something very simple, which is, in this very basic sense, what is the function of any document, which is to communicate something, to encapsulate a set of ideas and communicate it to a specific audience. So we don't want to forget that very functional, basic idea of what communication is in the written sense in these contexts. There's more complex notions there, and we can philosophize a bit on what is communication and what is language. But for the most part, in a practical, functional kind of sense, a document is an encapsulation of ideas that attempts to communicate something to a specific audience. So when I think about documents, I think about a few things. So top level perspective, I have a document sitting in front of me. I'm tasked with writing and designing it, or I'm tasked with analyzing it. There's some levels we can think about of what goes into a document, whether it's for print or the web or across media. We can think about the design of the document, the visuals, the color, the page size, all of these elements that go into its visual representation, even the medium that it takes. And then we think about the text of the document, which is the, say, primary mode through which information is communicated in technical and scientific contexts most of the time, often supplemented with the visual modality with graphs, charts, so on, but primarily through text. So within text, you have the formatting of the text and the content of the text. The formatting of the text includes the font, the spacing, the arrangement, the use of paragraphs and structures and organization. And the content of the text is what you actually write. So your word choice, your diction, your syntax, the way in which you put the sentence together, the semiotics, the meaning of what you're choosing to say within the syntax and the diction. So to back up there, this is how I think about writing a technical document and how I think about analyzing one as well. We have these different levels of order that we can look at. There's the overall visual design of the document, and then the text of the document. And within the text, you have the formatting of the text and the content of the text. And effective documents are simple. That's the guiding principle that look across all of this. By and large, minimal design, minimal, brief, concise sentences that effectively communicate the concept, minimal, almost formulaic types of construction and organization within the language. There are certain patterns that the mind wants to see, that your reader expects, in order to increase comprehension, that you can think about in order to increase comprehension. So what can we think about here then? So from the sentence level, brief declarative sentences that are then arranged into paragraphs. Paragraphs are the building blocks, the unit, the next higher order unit beyond the sentence. The words create the sentences create the paragraphs are arranged into thematic sections, and a group of thematically linked sections creates a document. That's the essential concept here for the most part. You'll find variations on this, and of course there's always outliers and qualifying statements I could make, but by and large, your diction and syntax create sentences which logically strung together create paragraphs, which then create sections, which build a document. That's the fundamental idea in technical and scientific and professional writing. Whether it's a report or a memo or across genres, those are kind of the tools you have, and those are the normative expectations. So something we can really focus on is, in a practical sense, is declarative, brief, clear, punchy sentences. Think Hemingway, right? Don't think less of the kind of purple prose, the flowery language. Think more Hemingway, say. Brief, clear, effective sentences. And paragraphs, the idea here is to have a topic sentence for each paragraph. This is how you write an effective paragraph. A paragraph is a norm in written communication that has been around for millennia. It works. It works very well, not just in professional context, but it's by and large how we're expected to put written text together in most situations. So you have a topic sentence for that paragraph, which helps your reader understand what the content of that paragraph is going to be. The paragraph is a grouping of ideas. So topic sentence, and then the following sentences offer additional information. They offer sources and evidence to back up an argument or a claim. They offer qualifications, like maybe this doesn't apply in X scenario or Y scenario. Maybe you provide additional context or historical data, whatever it is. The second, third, fourth, fifth sentence in a paragraph supports that initial topic sentence of the paragraph. That helps your reader follow along to understand the logical linking of ideas in a paragraph. So an example here, let's actually look at something. A topic sentence. Heart disease is the leading cause of death in the United States. Something like that. It's short, it's brief. The reader knows what's happening. Second, third, fourth, fifth sentences. Of course, it depends on the context and purpose of what you're writing, but then we might say, the term heart disease refers to a range of cardiovascular conditions, such as or including. So here we have the second sentence offering additional content, we can say, for your reader. It plays off of the topic sentence. It goes in a direction off of the topic sentence and in the same vein as the topic sentence. You offer a definition. This is a common trope in good, effective professional, business, scientific, and technical writing. Provide definitions for your reader. So heart disease is the leading cause of death in the United States. A great topic sentence. The term heart disease refers to a range of cardiovascular conditions. Great, you've offered a definition. Now we know what heart disease is, and maybe we even know now to go research it, look up what are these other, cardiovascular conditions, so on. Then we might say the symptoms can include high blood pressure, arrhythmias, so on and so on. Then we might say, treatments include a number of prescription medications or lifestyle adjustments, so on and so on. There's your paragraph, right? You have a topic sentence that then has information linked back to that topic sentence, so you don't lose your reader. You don't want to lose your reader. And a paragraph can be quite concise. They should never be these giant walls of text that I often see students writing. If you have a paragraph that has more than 5 sentences, I think you really need to question whether that's necessary or not, because there's a really compelling case for shorter paragraphs so that your reader does not lose interest, so that your reader understands the logical connections of a document, so that your reader sticks with you, right? So that they stay with you and follow along, and so that your information stays organized and compact and tight and meaningful, right? So really compelling reasons. Once you have these 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sentence long paragraphs, the reader becomes lost, might drift away, and you might get lost as a writer as well. Perhaps more importantly, you start meandering into subtopics that aren't particularly related. So the best practice here is a paragraph should have maybe 4 or 5, 6 sentences in it that are highly relevant, highly related to the topic sentence. And if you need to bring in a new topic, you bring in a new paragraph. And then that creates a logical difference, a logical organizational difference for the reader that they can visually see, structurally different. Okay, so that is enough of these fundamental building blocks. Clear word choice, that's your diction. Diction is word choice, so clear word choice. Don't use jargon if you don't need to, or sometimes you do have to use highly technical terminology depending on the context, but then spell it out for your reader. So clear word choice, build clear, brief sentences, cut out unnecessary words, cut out redundancies, delete unnecessary asides. Heart disease is the leading cause of death in the United States. Heart disease accounts for, you could be better than this even, heart disease kills X number of United States citizens every year, or Americans, right? So on and so on. Tweak your language until it is perfect, until it is brutally crisp and clear and lovely, compact. So diction, your word choice, that builds into your syntax, which is the arrangement of words into a sentence. Your sentences build into paragraphs, and then your paragraphs you organize in such a way that you move your reader through the information, and you can organize paragraphs into different sections. Say you have 2 or 3 broader, logically linked themes that you're discussing in this document. Use section headers to set those apart. Before you know it, you have a very clear and nice technical document across genres. By and large, this is how to write technical documents, professional documents, in most workplace communication, even emails, right? We don't want to get away from these models that work really well, which is to say the paragraph model. Even if you're writing a business email or something like that, the paragraph is still really effective. Or if you're writing in web scenarios, you're writing a blog, most people expect to see things written in something roughly approximating paragraph format. So you don't want to steer too far away from that, which is to say the logical relationship of language to discuss a concept and to communicate a concept. That's enough for now. I hope that makes sense for you. These are really concrete, practical things we can think about in terms of how we can write effectively. These brief, clear, declarative sentences that build into logical paragraphs, brief paragraphs that have 4 to 5 sentences in them, maybe 6 paragraphs then that are linked together in sections, and then there's your document, right? Thanks for tuning in today. I hope you're all doing well, and more to come on the fundamentals of technical writing, but this speaks to these key concepts here. The text of the document and the design of the document come together to create effective technical writing. And here I've focused on some concepts in the text, in the diction, syntax, the meaning of the text, and the arrangement and organization of it. Of course, there's a lot to think about with design and formatting. Minimal fonts, use fewer fonts if possible, but much of that, those visual, rhetorical, and graphic design concepts, it's hard to make universal claims about it, but by and large, less is more. Less formatting is more effective. Never over-format a document. We'll get more into that later, but for now, just some of these sentence level, paragraph level, organizational ideas for you. Take care of yourselves. Have a good day.